Hi SketchUp users, this is a video showing you how to use the new Dimension plugin tool for adding dimensions to your drawings much quicker and more accurately, and it has other features to configure your measurements. When you install this plugin, you will get this toolbar, and in the toolbar you'll have a horizontal dimensions button, a vertical, and a settings button. In the settings button, when you switch it or click on it, there's a couple of options here for gaps or no gaps. So basically, if you want to add measurements over a gap, you can do this by switching this on. And then the offset is the distance your measurement is away from your drawing. So let's show you that. There's the offset there. But at the moment, you can't, in the native tools of SketchUp, you can't set this distance. You have to just drag it out, and wherever it goes, it goes. Not that I'm aware of, there's a way of doing it. But in this here, you can set this up, and it'll set the dimension to that. So let's demonstrate that. So it's 300 at the moment. So let's show you how to use the tool. In order to use the tool, all you need to do is select the lines that you want the dimensions to be on. In this case, this one. You can select it either that way or that way, it doesn't matter. And then just click the button and it'll add it on here. Now that the dimensions added on, you can actually change that position just by typing in, say, 3, let's put in 100 and press enter, and the dimension moves now 100 away. Or we can type in 500, and it adds offsets the dimension, that distance. So you can do it after you've once you put on the measurement. So what's the advantage of using this? If you're using the native tool, in order to put on your measurements, you have to go click, click, and sometimes you click and you're missing, like I just did, and you have to go around here, click, click, or hover your mouse over and drag the line out like so. And this is simple drawing here, so it's not too complicated here, but you have to kind of do all this. Okay. So, but using the plugin, this speeds this process up, so you can do it much faster. So if I want to put on all my horizontal measurements or even vertical measurements, I just select the lines. Here at the moment I'm selecting the horizontals, but because I'm only clicking on the horizontal button, it'll only add on the horizontal measurements. So click on there and it adds those measurements all in there, and they're all offset at 300, or I think it's the last measurement I've typed in. So those measurements get added on for you, and then you can line those measurements up by typing in the minus sign, and that will line them all up like so if you wish to have them that way or the other way. So you've got control over these measurements. Now at the moment I need to really set up my dimensions in my model info. So I'm going to switch this off here, and I'm going to go and change my dimension text. I like it to have it about 18 bold. Say OK, select all, update, and say I want to line it on the outside, like so. So there you would have your dimensions added onto your drawing on that vertical. So I want to add these two here as well, so just select those two, hit the button, then it adds in the internal and external, and you can do the offset here. Let's type in 100. I actually interfered with that, so you have to do it immediately afterwards. You can't move anything, so click my button, type in 100, and there you have it offset. So after using this a bit, you'll, depending on what size of drawing you do, you know what offset to use, and you can actually set that up in here as a default. So at the moment it's at 300. And the same goes for my vertical measurements. I just need to select the lines here and hit the vertical button, and that will add those lines in. And then you can move them if you need to, in a little bit like so, just to arrange them if you need to, like so, and format them whatever way you like. So let's do a gap measurement. So I'll undo those few things here. I want to keep that format there actually. So let's do this here. If I select those two lines, this one and this one, and select that line, it adds in the gap as well, and that's because we have it switched on here. If I say no, and do that operation again, select those two, and it'll just add those two. The other thing too is if you say you select these two and you click the button, and now you want to remove them, you can click the button again and it'll remove them. And you can go and change your setting here, say yes, and click the button again and it'll add them in. And again, if you need to remove them, it's as simple as that. So adding and removing the measurements are very quick. Let's take this line here for example. We add in dimensions on that. It shows you there. You can click the offset, and probably the bestest way to add new measurements in is just to select the lines in groups where you want to, or you can loop them or add to the selection by selecting one line, shift, and then select the other lines and click your dimension, and it adds those all in one go. So there's different ways you can have control over the measurements. So that's using normal geometry. I already mentioned about aligning the geometry. I'll do it one more time just to show you. If I select this line and this line and click that, but now I want these measurements to be aligned, I just need to press the minus sign and press enter, and that will align it to the most extreme one. Now using the plugin on groups is a little bit different. Here for example I want to add the width measurement on the bottom of all these. Well, in order to do so, you can work in 3D or perspective view. All I have to do is select the objects I want to add the dimensions to, and then I just need to tilt the edge of the camera view so I can see all that edge there. And watch what happens when I do that. It will add in a layer here to say the measurements were added on to the red axis. So you can switch those on and off. So let's get an example. Let's do a demo here. So I click that and it added all those dimensions. Now I want to move them dimensions a wee bit closer. A shorter offset, 200. Maybe go down to 100. Okay, I like it better. Now I've added those dimensions on there. Again, it's the gap measurement is added in because it's switched on here. So I could switch that off. Now, if you're working here and you actually want these dimensions to be added to the back of the group, you could just swing it around here like that and add that. That's right. Click it again. I need to bend it down so it's the edge that I want to put the dimensions on is actually facing the camera, like so. So that's the nearest point to the camera. I click the button again, it will add it down to the bottom, and it's going to add it on the offset that I've set here. If I want this to change constantly to 100, let me I'll put in 120 here just to show you. Click OK. I can click that to remove and then click again, and now it's off, adding them on at 120 offset. So you see how quick that can be in a big project. We have to go around and add on dimensions. Let's undo that, and I will spin around here. Let's see if I can do this actually. I've never tried this before yet. So you just select them to erase and select them to add. Okay, so I built the wall here at the back, and just to show you another feature. Say I want to add dimensions to the back here. So I select my objects, make that a group first of all. So I select the objects I want to add dimensions to, so I can either loop them like that, deselect that one, and now I can add dimensions to the bottom here. So just point this edge nearest the camera, click the button, and it adds in the dimensions. But say now I actually want those dimensions to be at the back edge here. Okay, maybe it's not a good idea to do it on that way, so let's just undo that. Oh, I've got the camera pointing the wrong way there, so I do undo. So here I want to put the measurements on the top edge here, so click, it adds them on, but now I want them back at the wall, towards the wall. So all I have to do is type in the plus sign and press enter. Now let's put it to the back end of the grouped objects. And now if I want to align these, I put in the minus sign. So I have to undo that, undo that, and do this one more time. So I have to click, add on dimensions, do the minus sign, then the plus sign, and then the minus sign. Black.